called Under the Castor Oil Tree, and I have 4 readings for you from this week. This one is Friday, May the 15th, and it's called I Don't Get It. The University of Chicago Divinity School did a poll that said 2/3 of Americans believe the coronavirus is a message from God. I don't get it. Which God do they mean? The Old Testament Yahweh, who sent plagues and pestilence and wiped out people? Or the God, Father, Mother of Jesus, who urged us to love one another and even to be kind and pray for our enemies? A sign from God, in my mind, any message God would send would be of hope and promise and life, not a virus of death. Now, to give them credit, these people, those in the survey, did say that the sign from God was to tell the world to change its ways, to stamp out poverty and racism, to narrow the gap between rich and poor, to raise wages, to improve health care for all people, things like that. And hopefully, when this is better contained, we will have the will and leadership to accomplish those things. It's just a shame that thousands must die to inspire us to level our differences in health and wealth and racial disparity. But to God sent it to teach us a lesson is beyond my theological grasp. No God I know and love and trust would do that. Not now, not ever. My second blog reading is from Saturday, May the 16th. It's called In Normal Times 4. I've been doing a series about what things would be happening if we were in normal time, not in these oh so not normal times. In normal times, I'd be thinking about which of the 3 churches I was scheduled for tomorrow, and thinking about my sermon and how long the drive will take, so I'll know when to get up. But these are normal times. I'll set my alarm for 9:11 a.m. and be part of the Zoom and Facebook Live service at 10. Brian and I are never at the same church together, unless there's a joint service with the bishops. We'll be there on Zoom. I'll do the sermon and the blessing, and Brian will do the rest. It's been working well for weeks now, but it's not the same as normal time. What will normal time look like when there is a break from this virus? I'm not sure. Not as much touching, for sure, though that's hard for church. All 3 churches are filled places. Masks are fine with me, but for how long? Always that seems severe. But if it is necessary, I will do it. I had asthma as a child and get shots of Xolair every 2 weeks to control my bronchial problems. The drug does control that. What would the virus do? I've come to grips that because of my age and bronchial problems, if I get the virus, I will die. I realize that, and therefore will obey all the rules as long as they are in place. Lots of people like me, I'm sure. So I don't like the protesters without masks and social distancing and carrying weapons to reopen their states. I will play by the rules as long as the rules are needed. You should too. Really, you should in these not normal times. This is Sunday, May 17th. It's called In Normal Times 5. In normal times, I would have gone to 3 churches I serve, and everyone would have seen me and heard me. We would have celebrated the Eucharist and had the hour and loved each other. Today, in these anything but normal times, we did church on Zoom, Facebook, and on phone. No one could see me, though they could hear me and listen to my sermon and Brian's celebration of the Eucharist. I saw myself through it all. Weird. Zoom broke down Sunday morning between 9 and noon in many parts of the country, especially it seems in New England. COVID-19 and Zoom don't seem to like New England. Folks reading, folks doing prayers dropped out. It was weird. Not surprised in such abnormal times. Internet technology is still like most things. Shit happens. Which is always true. It was fun. And I talked to several people who said listening was better than nothing. I could see one of my cousins tuned in from West Virginia, but not the other one. I say cousins because we are somehow. It's just on my other side of the relationships were vague and varying. I called lots of people aunt and uncle who weren't. On the other side of the family were very strict about being in relationships. My uncle Sid, my father's brother, happened to marry my mother's first cousin. Sid and Callie had children who told me we were double first cousins. And since I was much younger, that seemed to make sense. And I told my maternal grandmother that, blind Nona Sadler Charles. She said, huh, and told me that we were first cousins on my father's side, but third cousins on my mother's side. Well, that wasn't the only distinction between the sides of my family. The Burleys liked to drink, and the Joneses were teetotalers. The Joneses were all evangelical churchgoers, and the Bradleys, except for who tolerated Methodist Church, avoided church whenever they could. No wonder I have so many conflicting opinions. The two sides of my family were conflicting too. This final blog reading is from Monday, May 18th. It's called Bugs. Winters in New England, though this were a mild one compared to others, are long enough that I forget about bugs. Bugs are back, crawling, flying, darting, sometimes biting. I only kill the flies. I take others that are in the house and manage outside and release them back to the wild, or at least wild in Attain, Connecticut. I even take the stink bugs that burn hate to freedom. But I don't like bugs much. They interrupt my life in ways I don't appreciate. Bees and wasps drive me inside. Smaller flying bugs land on the book I'm reading and won't go away. Ants climb on my feet and sandals. Butterflies and moths are fun. In fact, the latter, the moths, spook me a bit. But why? I feel about most bugs the way the president feels about inspector generals. But unlike he kills them, fires them, left and right, full this month. Inspectors will be part of government there by law keep an eye out for wrongdoing. Many serve through several administrations. They are not supposed to be partisan in any way. And the president fires them for keeping too close an eye on things. Mike Pompeo and his wife were being looked at for misusing aides to do menial and personal things for them, like walk their dog. So keeping an eye out ends up getting you fired. At least I only kill flies. I let the rest live. I wish our president did. I wish there were people keeping his eye out on him and his whole administration. Too much to wish, I guess.